Today on The Report, the Iranian supreme leader was killed in a joint U.S.-Israel attack amid escalating regional conflict.
A look ahead at the biggest films and stars being highlighted at the 98th Academy Awards.
Paramount bids for Warner Brothers surpasses Netflix offer.
And viral Punch the Monkey breaks the internet for finding comfort in a plush monkey toy. The Report starts now. Welcome back to another semester of The Report. I'm Chrissy Washington.
I'm Jerry Martinez.
And I'm Evan Fidel. Stay in the loop and get updated on campus news by following us on Titan TV's Instagram page at Titan TV CSUF.
On February 28th, Iran's Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei was killed in Tehran, Iran. His death was confirmed on March 1st after a U.S.-Israeli joint airstrike. On the same day in Manab, a girls' elementary school located near a military base was struck by a U.S.-Israel missile attack. According to the Iranian Red Crescent, more than 200 people were killed and around 700 were injured from the attack. President Trump warned Iran not to, quote, hit very hard, end quote, and that the strikes would continue throughout the week. Iran responded to the strike by firing missiles at Israel and at U.S. bases across the Middle Eastern region, including the United Arab Emirates, Qatar, Kuwait, Bahrain, and Jordan. For the first time ever, the U.S. used suicide drones, also known as one-way attack drones, for combat as it launched an offense against Iran. Iranian President Masoud Pezeshkian responded to the death of Iran's supreme leader that his death, quote, will not go unanswered, end quote. Along with Iran's parliament speaker, Mohammad Bagher Ghalibaf, responded with a promise to, quote, get even with the Americans and Israelis, end quote. So guys, I think this is like the biggest news probably to come out of the week. People have been calling it World War III. What are you guys' thoughts about it?
I think it's probably unnecessary what Trump is doing with Iran. I mean, the first thing that came in mind was basically bombing practically an all-girls school, killing 100 young females and teachers. That is totally against our standard here in America. So I'm very conflicted, yet a little bit frustrated on what is the main objective for this.
Absolutely. I think that's one of my main concerns as well, is that we hear from President Trump and Pete Hegsworth that it's going to take only a few weeks, but in a certain sense, where are we going with this? They have their objectives listed as a regime change. They have it listed as to stop their Navy, to dismantle the Navy, and to dismantle the financial backing of domestic terrorism globally. And that's good on paper and how it sounds good, but how do you control that? President Trump is now speaking about that he wants to have a part in controlling where Iran is going with their regime, and it's a growing part. It's like cutting off the tail of a lizard. It's going to grow back. The regime's not over, and Iran's prime minister, he describes it as a success on their part because the regime is not ending on their side, and he feels it's conflicting between what we see on their side between coverage in Iran and for President Trump. So I'm confused as to where we're going to see this really take a toll. I know it's taking a toll on gas prices and how it's affecting the consumer. So we need to see it end. We need to see it end, honestly.
Yeah, I think the most concerning thing to me, you mentioned like oil and gas prices. I just think it's so unnecessary. We saw this in Iraq, we saw this in Afghanistan, we saw it in Venezuela not too long ago, and I said a lot of this last semester on The Report that we're kind of doing these sort of invasions under the guise of something better, under the guise of a regime change or something better for the Iranian people. And I've seen a lot of the, not protests, but the celebrations of people of Iranian descent in LA, and people are obviously happy that the Ayatollah is gone because they don't like him. I just don't think that the answer to that is American intervention. And there's never been any good to come out of U.S. intervention. We saw it in Vietnam. We saw it in Cuba. There are so many countries that I can list where the U.S. has intervened in this way that has only made things worse for our soldiers. So many soldiers have already died, and we just launched this attack like not even a week ago. So like you guys both asked, I think the question is, what is the real purpose of this? And how are we going to be protected as U.S. citizens? How are our people in combat on the ground going to be protected? And just like, what is the end goal? I think that's really what it is. What is the end goal, and how are we going to protect people? And why are we bombing schools? Anyway, there's so many like layered questions that I think are going unanswered. And Caroline Leavitt, again, has just not given any answers. And I think that the administration is just really embarrassing at this point.
The administration does have a way, especially Trump, with his manipulation tactics. I mean, we just saw that yesterday he just fired Kristi Noem. Is that part of his plan of just kind of letting America saying, oh, like, thank God, like, she's not there, in order for him to plan the next plot that he is doing? Because it sounds like a repetition over and over. I mean, he decided to capture the president from Venezuela and then fired, I believe, one of the main captains, and then now back to Iran, bombing Iran, and now firing Kristi Noem. What is the next plan? What is the objective? Is it just so Americans could be happy, or for Americans to be more divided more than ever?
Yeah, and I feel it's definitely a separation, because this is not a thing between liberal and conservative, because there's many people on the conservative side and liberal sides that are completely against this, and there's people that are in favor of this. Like you said, the Iranian diaspora is feeling a certain way in LA because this is a regime that has been taken forth, I believe, whether it's 47 years. That's
fled from.
Yeah, and there's a generation that completely only knows this regime, so they have no other knowledge of what it could be like. So it's understandable for them to see this as a good thing, but in a certain sense, people are dying, and it's a shame, to say the least.
Hollywood's biggest night is quickly approaching as the 2026 Oscars prepare to celebrate the past year's Best in Film on Sunday, March 15th. The spotlight of the evening will shine on Ryan Coogler's film Sinners, which tailed a record 16 nominations, including the most prestigious honors of Best Picture, Director, and Actor. While Warner Brothers led the way with 30 nominations, independent studios provided a strong list of candidates as well. Neon Studios and A24 both secured double-digit nominations in this year's film, as Sentimental Value and Marty Supremes lead the way respectively with 9 apiece. This edition of the Academy Awards has also sparked debates online. Over surprise snubs, fans of Wicked for Good have been left up in arms, as the film was not considered for a single nomination, and lack of mention for Chase Infinity and Jennifer Lawrence in the Best Actress category has not been favorable in the public's eye. Conan O'Brien will host the ceremony for the second consecutive year as the show hunts for its first viewership figure of 20 million or more in 6 years. So, awards have been approaching. We just saw we had the Actors Award from March 1st. A lot of surprises, especially with ties between Timothée Chalamet and Michael B. Jordan. What are your guys' prediction on who's going to win for Oscars?
So I saw Sinners multiple times, and I saw Marty Supreme as well in theaters. And like, no shade to Timothée Chalamet. He
No,
I don't even want to say that he was great in Marty Supreme, because I personally don't think that playing a character that is yourself, I just don't like. Marty Supreme is not the, how do I say this delicately? He just he didn't wow me. I think that's what it was. It kind of felt like he was playing himself or playing some other like pretentious white dude, which is who Marty Supreme is. I just don't think that deserves Best Actor. Michael B. Jordan literally played 2 different characters. And if you look into what he said, what Ryan Coogler said, what the rest of the cast has said about his method acting and the dedication to both of the roles that he played, I think he really does deserve Best Actor. I think the SAG Awards, or the Actor Awards, really showed that he was deserving of this. I think the entire cast is deserving of everything. It was an amazing film. I loved Sinners. I saw it multiple times, so I loved it a lot. So I'm curious to hear what you guys think.
I share sentiment.
Yeah.
I share sentiment because haven't seen Sinners as much as you. I bet you have seen that front to back. And look, that movie and what it symbolized for me, it was a great movie. I loved it. And I think how the actors spoke about Michael B. Jordan and how he acted and the method of how he presented himself to carry two different roles throughout that movie, that's best. I should get Best Actor twice.
Yeah, right.
That's two. That's all I gotta say. That's Best Actor twice.
I have seen Marty Supreme, and I just feel personally, I think Timothée Chalamet is a great actor, but I do also feel that he is trying to push to getting the Oscars. It just seems like it's more of a hyperfixation on it. And with Michael B. Jordan, I do believe that his acting is more of his craft. And definitely, I mean, playing two twins and not only just playing different personalities, but also learning how to adjust, because what I have heard in his interviews that he would adjust his facial expressions because two twins, they're very different. One is more serious than the other. And, you know, when he got nominated and got the SAG for Best Actor, there's been statistics that his people were just kind of like, oh, like he's all right, but now it went up to like 30%, other than Timothée Chalamet, who went up to like 50. It's a close tie with them two. And then for Ryan Coogler's, it's also another win for him because, I mean, 16 nominations. It's one of the most nominated movies than prior years. So I love to see more how this is going to. I'm just super excited to watch next Sunday.
How do you guys feel about like the snubs and kind of the things that didn't really, you know, I heard you said that Wicked didn't get any nominations. I personally didn't see Wicked, so I don't know if it was good as people said it was.
I don't know if it was, I don't know. I have no takes.
Yeah.
No current takes on Wicked.
I've seen Wicked. I do think that they should have given them at least for best costume design. I think their way, especially with, I've seen Wicked twice, and with Scarecrow, like it was very realistic. I thought it was CGI. People all thought it was CGI, but his makeup for that transition from being Fiyero to the Scarecrow was like, oh, like that's him. That was all of the makeup design for him. So I was kind of slightly disappointed on seeing that. I don't think that the movie itself was that bad. Yes, it felt rushed, but it didn't seem like it when you're watching the movie. It's just maybe little adjustments here and there. So
Can I ask you which one's your favorite between the two, the first one and the second one?
I love the music more from the second one.
Okay.
I do love. I've seen Wicked at Broadway, so
Oh.
I'm just obsessed with musicals. So
Okay, that's lit. Okay, well then fair enough. So you're saying two is like the music behind that.
the music.
I only watched one, so that's why I just gotta say it's my best one.
See either. I'm a musical theater kid. I should
Wow.
have seen it. I don't know. I'm not a movie person,
Wow.
so there's like a weird kind of thing there.
Paramount has outbid Netflix for the acquisition of Warner Bros. Discovery. This comes after Netflix refused to increase its final bid, allowing Paramount to jump in with a higher offer that was later accepted by Warner Bros. Many fears have surfaced beyond preserving film catalogs and screening new films in theaters, all due to the political ramifications of media exploitation related to Paramount CEO and Chairman David Ellison's ties with President Donald Trump. Democratic Senator of Massachusetts, Elizabeth Warren, chimes in with her recent statement, saying, quote, "A handful of Trump-aligned billionaires are trying to seize control of what you watch and charge you whatever price they want," end quote. President Donald Trump publicly states of wanting to find new owners for CNN after he previously made complaints about CNN spreading fake news. While no major change has occurred yet, the uncertainty looms overhead over the state of the merger once the deal is fully processed. This is a huge thing to combine to existing categories of streaming services, of business models. It's going to take a lot to combine, and with control over what possibly CNN being buddy-buddy with David Ellison, it's a lot, and I'm wondering what your guys' take on this, if anybody has any jabs.
I think it's terrible. On one hand, I am glad that Netflix didn't win the bid, because I remember last semester when we talked about this, a big issue for us was like, you know, going to the movies is a whole thing. So if we let a streaming company take over Paramount or take over all of this, really, what does that say for like the in-person film and theater experience? So on one hand, I'm glad that Netflix didn't get this bid, but I am so anti Larry and David Ellison that I can't even like fathom what this is going to be like. Just the idea that like CNN, CBS, and Warner Brothers, and Paramount, and TikTok, these were all companies that were once their own singular companies. So I just think that there's a lot of like oligarchy happening, and I think it's just going to be detrimental to our ability to not only consume content, but also to create that content as well, especially when we go into CNN with the news and Trump being buddy-buddy with the people who are owning our media. I just think that takes us down a really slippery slope, and I do not like the idea.
Any president, for that matter,
Right,
really.
exactly.
It's independent media.
Yeah.
You know?
It's a very controversial thing that Trump is doing, and Trump is there to lead, for example, not to navigate and trying to control our way of viewing things. Again, like you said, Christy, that I'm glad that Netflix didn't really offer the Warner Brothers, but when it's such a very indecisive, frustrating kind of moment where you kind of think, what's happening? What's going on? You have Netflix, which is a streaming company, which, they have said that they were going to take away at least a couple of weeks of movies from out of the theater. And now we got this going on with with Trump and his organization, his company, just trying to get into the entertainment industry. Is like, what's going on? These are like questions that need to be answered, and why for that purpose.
I feel, especially on the sense of like consumer basis, like two streaming networks, they're combining. They already said they're consolidating, so what else are they going to consolidate? They mentioned that it's not going, they want to keep it separate, they want to keep the business model separate, but they have I believe it's a $7.9 billion debt that they're upholding, and Netflix is a winner at that point because they saved a couple billion at that point. And what is it going to do for us at a certain sense? Because they're going to combine. Consolidation is going to happen when you have to make ends meet. So, a lot of questions. Yeah. A lot of questions for the people.
I think the biggest issue for me, again, back hating on David and Larry Ellison, I just saw this morning that like a bunch of people at Oracle are getting laid off because they're having like financial issues with like AI integration and some other stuff. And I just feel like if the company that you co-founded and still own, if you have to lay off people for financial issues, what are you doing spending billions of dollars on a media company? I just think the priorities of everyone involved are just so messed up to where it's like we as consumers are being caught in the crosshairs of whatever financial autocrat, technocrat like decisions that they're making. And I just don't like that. I don't like it at all.
I can understand it.
Yeah.
I feel that.
A baby monkey named Punch has captivated the hearts of the internet. The 7-month-old Japanese macaque has become a global sensation for clinging to a stuffed toy at the Ichikawa City Zoo after his mother abandoned him at birth in July 2025. Punch first went viral after videos of him gripping a plush orangutan toy given by zookeepers spread across social media, touching hearts everywhere. Baby Punch was given the plush to find comfort and a sense of security, since baby macaques need to immediately cling onto their mother's body after birth to build muscle strength. Born during a heat wave in Japan, Punch's keepers believe his mother may have abandoned him due to the heat stress she faced during his birth. Other factors could be inexperience, as Punch was the firstborn. Videos of Punch being bullied and harassed by the adult monkeys circulated in the media after Punch was reintroduced to the main enclosure. Since the viral video in early February gained over 11 million views on various platforms, Punch has been gradually interacting with others and even seen waving at fans in a video with over 2.6 million views. Zoo officials say Punch is making social progress with the other monkeys, but still continues to hold tight to his plush toy. So guys, I think he's so adorable. What do you guys think?
He's a cute guy.
I love Punch. I totally understand everyone being so like emotionally captivated by him. I think that as humans, when a monkey becomes famous, it kind of feels like we're looking into like what we once were. You know what I mean? We did it with Harambe. We did it with Punch is not the first monkey to go famous with humans. Like he's not the first. So what do you guys think about it? I think he's super cute.
I love him.
Yeah.
I definitely do love him. I was so devastated in seeing those videos of 2 of those monkeys just attacking him, dragging him, and I'm like, leave the little...
I hate what they're doing to him, though. Why they gotta do bro like this?
Why do you...
Oh my God.
It's just a baby. Like, leave it alone. Like, you were babies too. Like, what's going on here? But it shows a lot that we still have humanity just by looking at what's happening with Punch. And it just reminds me that it still brings me joy that there's still people that are out there. They still love to see those comfort videos and still have these empathies and sympathies towards this monkey. And that's all we all need right now, especially today, because what's going on? I mean, it's like left and right. Like, I don't even know what's gonna happen the next day or next week. So seeing these type of heartfelt videos is always kind of like a way to kind of calm our, nervous system and just think like, just like monkeys, we need that type of love and support too. We hold on to things. We hold on to people that we love. We hold on to friends and families. We're never here alone. And I think that's what sends a great message to, what Punch is trying to do.
That Punch is like, he's symbolism. I resonate with bro. That's like my spirit animal right now.
Yep.
Like you said, we all want to feel like we're seen and have that love and community. And to see bro go through this, it's like I'm looking at a mirror. I'm like, I want success for bro. And he, it's a shame that it's not really a shame, but they have, I believe, like you said, they have to cling on to something for their mothers to build strength. And I want bro to give up the orangutan. And once I know bro is good, baby Punch, he's just gonna be Punch.
Yeah.
You're not gonna be baby Punch no more.
Exactly.
I can't wait for that.
No, he's so cute.
Success story. It's setting up.
That's the thing I like. I feel like we've gotten like a little glimpse into his life so far. We got some backstory. I'm excited to see where he goes after
Rise
this.
to greatness of Punch.
Exactly.
Oh, I can't wait for his success story. I will be there. I hope I report on that too. Oh, his success is gonna be great. Can't wait.
Give props to the zookeeper that gave him the orangutan. I'm sorry. Give him props.
I was watching, I think it might have been CNN or CBS, whatever news report like talked to the zookeepers. And they kind of, I love how people kind of do things just like casually and it turns into some bigger thing. They were just like, yeah, like we thought it looks like a monkey. It's not like the same kind of monkey, but like an orangutan kind of looks like him. So they were just like, yeah, let's give it to him and see what happens. And I think that it's really cool that it kind of blew up into this whole thing. And I love that he's so like attached to it. Like he really is a baby. He really is just a baby.
He's gonna rise up.
Yeah.
He won't be a baby.
Exactly.
He's gonna be a man.
It's like, I'm a real man.
And that wraps up with our recent news of today.
Make sure to stay tuned for more news, views, and info.
Don't forget to follow at Titan TV CSUF on Instagram to stay updated with our weekly episodes.
We'll see you on the next episode of The Report.